Have you ever felt like your consciousness is evolving, but your life isn't? What if the reason you are feeling stuck has nothing to do with your healing, your karma, or your manifestation abilities? What if there is an invisible gap that has been affecting spiritual seekers for generations? A gap that has kept inner transformation from becoming the outer reality. Once you see it, you will never look at the spirituality in the same way ever again. For centuries, spirituality and physical life have often been treated as two separate paths. In many traditions, spiritual development became associated with withdrawing from worldly responsibilities and focusing entirely on meditation, contemplation, prayers, and inner awakening. Over the time, belief emerged that spiritual and physical world operate very independently from one another. One was considered very sacred, other was considered practical. One focused on consciousness, other focused on survival. But if we look throughout the history, we find something very interesting. Ancient sages, philosopher, inventor, visionaries didn't separate these two worlds. They accessed the profound state of awareness while actively contributing to the society. For them, their spiritual evolution was not escape from the society or worldly responsibilities. It became the foundation from which they served, taught, created, and discovered. As today, millions of people are experiencing spiritual awakening, exploring healing modalities, doing energetic work, healing work, an important question is emerging. Why does internal transformation not always create outer transformation? Why people feel shift in their consciousness, but at the same time they struggle and feel stuck in their relationship, career, finances, or purpose? The question is becoming impossible to ignore. As more people began exploring healing, meditation, spiritual practices, manifestation, a fascinating fact started emerging. People are becoming conscious, they are becoming connected, more aware, more aligned, but at the same time, this alignment is not giving the desired result they want. On one hand, their emotional wounds are getting healed, but on the other side, the stuck situation remain as it is in their life. This created a growing sense of confusion because many teachings tells us that outside reality is being created by our internal state. So the question arises is, if my consciousness is changing, why isn't my external reality changing? This is where the problem begins. Most people unknowingly continue living in two separate worlds. Their spiritual life is separated from their physical life. Their spirituality remain confined in the healing sessions, meditation or yoga sessions and spiritual retreats. On other hand, when they return to their physical life, they operate from the same frequency of performing, same frequency where it is not coming from the state of sharing value to the world, rather than coming from the place of what benefit I am getting out of it. Their spiritual life exists only during the meditation, prayer, or the time they are practicing something internal to them. When they come into the external world, they become totally separate individual. They have two modes of living. One is spiritual mode, another is physical mode. And they are switching between the two. It's like a on off, 0 1 situation. Their work becomes separate, relationship becomes separate, business becomes separate, daily responsibility becomes separate. There is no role of spirituality in these things. And without realizing, they are recreating the same separation which has been existing since ages. Division between spiritual world and physical world, division between waves and matter, division between inner transformation and outer reality. The big breakthrough is when you realize that the problem isn't lack of spiritual growth, but it is the separation of physical and spiritual world. You have been told by your mentors, spiritual coaches, or someone you follow, spiritual gurus, that you have to perform name chanting to attain moksha. Attaining moksha is not escaping the world. Attaining moksha is being in the world, in the same materialistic world, and performing your duty with your full alignment. Because only chanting the name or only doing meditation throughout the day can be a cause of escape also. And if it is the cause of escape, then you are not doing the spiritual work, rather you are deviating your mind, because your soul is not involved in the process. So if you need something to deviate your mind, like name chanting, mantra chanting, meditation, then your internal world is still not healed. You are giving something from outside and suppressing your internal traumas or internal wounds. Now it's the time for integration of the physical and the spiritual realm. If you have been doing some kind of spiritual practices, make sure that you are integrating that into your physical day to day activities. And on other hand, also see that whether you are doing spiritual practices with intent, or simply you are following because one is telling. You have to be very conscious of what spiritual practices you are doing and for what purpose you are doing. Are you only learning the facts? Because learning the facts in spirituality will not turn into action. So it is very easy to recognize if a person is really spiritual or not. Because if he has learned all the facts, all the spiritual quotes, but still he is operating from fear, lust, greed, control, then that person is not spiritual, even though he is telling lot of spiritual concepts. So you have to apply the spirituality into your relationship, into your career, into your uh, finances, into your business, and see what vibrations you are giving into these materialistic aspects of life. Are the vibration actually matching the vibration which you are building while doing your spiritual practice, are or these two are separate still? Take an example. Think about cooking. Cooking is just a regular activity, but if your soul is also involved in it, means your total awareness is present while you are cooking, then that process becomes aligned, because your mind, body, soul, entire awareness is aligned. When your soul or awareness is aligned, you are present at the present moment, as or at that time you are not thinking about past or future, because your soul is present in that, your awareness is present in that. So the simple task of cooking can become spiritual as well as physical also. And in that manner we can say that you are doing your spiritual work. Spiritual work need not to be always sitting with eyes closed. It can be as simple as cleaning, as simple as cooking, or as simple as solving any mathematical equations. You do task with 100% of your focus, concentration, awareness, and involvement of your soul. You will be totally aligned in that task. At that time, energy will be flowing through the from the source, through your soul to your action, and in that process you are working in union with universe, god. So it happens mostly with the artist, because when they perform with total alignment, then that becomes masterpiece. Like, we can take example of Michael Jackson, how his every song has impacted world so profoundly. So same thing you can apply to your work, to your relationship, and you have to see why I am not 100% aligned in this relationship, why I am not 100% aligned in this work, what alteration and vibration is required, so that my entire soul is ready to work in that direction. Why your soul is not ready to work or be in that work or be in that relationship, you have to work on that vibration and change the vibration. Along with that, take action in that direction in which you healed yourself. In this manner, you will bring that spiritual energy into your physical action, as well as physical action will become spiritual when your soul is totally involved in it. Now, the next part come is the role of intention. Many time you see that you are performing certain task, but the intention is just to take some benefit out of it. If it is for that purpose, if it is for seeking validation, seeking appreciation, or seeking anything to satisfy your ego, then the intention would not be pure and your soul will not participate in that work, and that work will not be called aligned or spiritual work. But if you release all these negative emotions, like emotion driven by validation, fear, ego, scarcity, control, comparison, then that physical work can become spiritual. Means that work will be whole, complete. For the soul to participate in any work, you have to observe within yourself if you are doing that work from the place of unconditional love and total union with god, or you are doing that work only for satisfaction of your ego. When the actions are guided by unconditional love, compassion, authenticity, giving, then that action automatically invites the soul, invites divine or source. Then things start to change in the physical world, because now you are integrating both of them. When the consciousness enters action, then action creates a new reality. You stop trying to escape the physical world on the name of spiritual practices. Perhaps this is one of the greatest invitation of our time. It's not the time to choose between spirituality or physicality, rather to unite them, to merge them, and to transform your spiritual energy into physical action, and physical activities into spiritual work by bringing soul into it. If you are also facing the same difficulty of integration of your physical and spiritual world, you can contact me from the website or email given in the description. Thank you so much.